You know, there's a fundamental truth about life that we often ignore. Everything changes, your thoughts, your body, your style, it all evolves. And yet so many people cling to old habits, refusing to adapt. They wear the same colors they did 30 years ago, oblivious to the fact that those colors may now be working against them, not for them. And why? Because change is uncomfortable. But let me tell you something, refusing to adapt is far more costly than the discomfort of transformation. Today we're going to talk about 5 colors that don't serve women over 60. Colors that can drain vitality from your appearance, wash you out, and even add years to your face. But more importantly, we're going to discuss what to wear instead. Because when you align your appearance with who you are now, rather than who you were, you send a powerful message. You are not fading, you are evolving. Black is often considered the ultimate color of sophistication. It's timeless, powerful, and undeniably elegant. For years, it has been a staple in wardrobes across the world, and for good reason. It's slimming, it's versatile, and it effortlessly communicates authority. But here's the harsh reality. As women age, the very qualities that once made black so appealing can start to work against them. The deep, stark contrast of black against mature skin often has an unintended effect, casting harsh shadows and emphasizing the very things people wish to minimize. Fine lines, wrinkles, and under-eye circles. It can create an illusion of hollowness, making the face appear more tired and less radiant than it truly is. This isn't just about aesthetics, it's about perception. When people look at you, they unconsciously register the interplay of color, contrast, and tone. When the contrast is too severe, as it often is with black against older skin, it draws attention to areas of depletion rather than areas of vibrancy. There's an inherent strength in embracing where you are in life, but there's also wisdom in understanding how to work with what enhances you rather than against you. Another issue with black is its ability to absorb light rather than reflect it. Light reflection is what gives skin a healthy, lively glow. When a color absorbs too much light, it can create a dulling effect, making the complexion appear more fatigued. This isn't about saying black is bad or that it should be completely eliminated from your wardrobe, but rather that it should be used strategically. If black is a staple in your personal style, the key is to find ways to soften its impact. Wearing black away from the face, perhaps as pants, skirts, or accessories, is one way to maintain its presence in your wardrobe without letting it overwhelm your natural features. A more flattering alternative is deep navy or charcoal gray. These shades provide the same sense of refinement and elegance as black, but with a gentler contrast that is more forgiving on mature skin. Navy in particular maintains a level of sophistication while allowing the skin to breathe, preventing the washed-out effect that black often creates. The goal isn't to erase personal style, but to refine it, to make choices that align with who you are now rather than who you were. Adaptation isn't a compromise, it's an act of self-respect, a way of saying, I see myself clearly and I choose what enhances me. White has long been associated with purity, simplicity, and sophistication. It's crisp, clean, and effortlessly elegant. Many people consider it a staple in their wardrobe, believing it to be a universally flattering color. However, as the skin matures, the starkness of bright white can often work against it rather than enhance it. The reason lies in how light interacts with color and how that, in turn, affects the appearance of the skin. Bright, pure white is highly reflective, which can be both a strength and a weakness. In youth, when the skin has more natural warmth and elasticity, white can provide a fresh, vibrant contrast, but as the skin matures, it gradually loses some of its natural pigments and can develop a cooler or more uneven tone. When placed against stark white, this can lead to an unbalanced contrast that highlights fine lines, wrinkles, and shadows. Instead of brightening the complexion, bright white can make it appear washed out, dull, or overly harsh. It often exaggerates the natural changes in skin texture, drawing attention to areas that might otherwise go unnoticed. Another issue with bright white is its tendency to create an almost ghostly effect on the skin. Unlike deeper colors that add warmth and depth, white has the potential to remove visual dimension from the face. This effect is especially noticeable under artificial lighting or in photographs where it can make the skin appear flat and devoid of natural color. The intensity of white is simply too stark against mature skin, creating an unintentional contrast that can be unflattering. A far better alternative is to shift towards softer, warmer whites. Shades like ivory, off-white, or cream retain the elegance and simplicity of white without the harsh contrast. These tones introduce a subtle warmth that complements rather than competes with the skin. They allow for a more natural reflection of light, which enhances the complexion rather than overwhelming it. The difference may seem small, but in practice, it can make a significant impact on how fresh and vibrant the skin appears. Making this adjustment isn't about abandoning personal style, but refining it to work in harmony with natural changes. It's about choosing colors that support and highlight the best features rather than unintentionally working against them. The goal is not to fade into the background, but to radiate confidence and presence. And the right color choices can make all the difference. Soft pastel colors like pink and lavender have long been associated with femininity, grace, and delicacy. They are often recommended for older women as gentle colors that supposedly soften the overall appearance. However, the reality is that these pale shades can often do more harm than good when it comes to enhancing mature skin. While they may have worked beautifully in younger years, their effect changes as the skin loses some of its natural warmth and vibrancy. Instead of bringing out the glow in the skin, pastels can have a dulling or even aging effect, making the complexion look washed out or slightly sallow. The main issue with pastel colors lies in their lack of depth. These shades tend to be muted and low in saturation, which means they don't provide enough contrast against skin that has naturally lost some of its youthful brightness. When a color is too close in tone to the skin, it can create a blending effect rather than a flattering contrast. This results in an appearance that is either overly pale or lacking in definition. In some cases, pastels can even highlight uneven skin tones, emphasizing areas of discoloration or fine lines rather than smoothing them out. Another problem with pastels is that they can unintentionally give off a sense of weakness rather than confidence. While they may feel soft and delicate, they don't always communicate the kind of strength and presence that a woman over 60 naturally carries. As people age, their personal style should evolve to reflect their inner energy and wisdom, rather than being confined to colors that fade them into the background. The key is to find colors that enhance and energize, rather than diminish. A much better choice than pale pastels is to embrace richer, warmer shades that add depth and vibrancy. Instead of a soft pastel pink, a deeper rose or coral can bring warmth to the skin and create a more flattering contrast. Instead of a pale lavender, a rich berry or plum can add sophistication without making the complexion look faded. These colors still carry a sense of femininity and elegance, but with more saturation and depth, ensuring that they enhance rather than wash out the skin. Making this shift is about understanding how color interacts with natural features, and choosing shades that reflect a sense of confidence, vitality, and strength. By opting for richer, more defined tones, women can highlight their best features while maintaining a look that feels both timeless and empowering. Neutral tones like beige and camel have long been considered safe, classic choices in fashion. They are subtle, understated, and effortlessly elegant. Many women over 60 lean toward these shades, believing them to be sophisticated and versatile. However, while these colors may work well for some, they often have a dulling effect on mature skin, particularly those with yellow or warm undertones. Instead of creating a polished, refined look, certain shades of beige can make the skin appear lifeless, drained, or even slightly sickly. The reason behind this lies in how beige interacts with natural skin tones. Many women experience subtle shifts in their complexion as they age. Skin can become paler, more translucent, or develop cooler undertones. When a color like yellow-based beige or camel is worn close to the face, it can clash with these changes rather than complement them. Instead of enhancing warmth and vitality, it can create a muddy or uneven appearance, making the skin look duller than it actually is. This effect is particularly noticeable in artificial lighting, where beige can almost blend into the skin, removing the natural contrast that gives the face definition and brightness. Another issue with beige is that it lacks the depth and richness needed to bring energy to the face. Unlike jewel tones or well-balanced neutrals, beige does not provide enough contrast to highlight the best features. It tends to flatten the overall appearance, reducing the skin's natural glow rather than enhancing it. This can be especially problematic when combined with minimal makeup, as beige does little to add vibrancy or life to the complexion. A far better alternative is to opt for warmer, richer, neutral tones that offer more depth and dimension. Instead of yellow-based beige, shades like taupe, soft mocha, or dusty rose provide the same neutral elegance but with a more flattering balance. These colors introduce a warmth that complements the skin rather than working against it, creating a more radiant and healthy appearance. Light cocoa or muted pinkish-brown shades can bring subtle warmth to the face without overpowering it, allowing for a polished yet natural look. Choosing the right neutrals is about understanding how color enhances or diminishes the natural beauty of mature skin, rather than settling for shades that drain energy from the complexion. Selecting tones that bring warmth and liveliness ensures a more vibrant, confident appearance. It's not about abandoning neutral colors entirely, but refining them to work in harmony with the skin's evolving undertones, allowing for a look that feels both sophisticated and fresh. Bold, highly saturated colors can be tempting choices for those who want to make a statement. They exude confidence, energy, and a sense of daring. Many women over 60 may feel the urge to incorporate these bright, attention-grabbing hues into their wardrobe as a way to counteract the effects of aging or to maintain a youthful edge. However, the reality is that neon and overly intense colors often work against mature skin rather than enhancing it. Instead of making the wearer look vibrant and strong, these shades can become overpowering, creating an effect that is more distracting than flattering. The issue with neon and ultra-bright colors lies in their intensity. These shades are designed to stand out, which means they naturally dominate whatever they are paired with, including the skin. When worn too close to the face, they can draw attention to imperfections, uneven skin tone, and fine lines by creating an unbalanced contrast. Rather than complementing natural features, they can make the complexion appear more washed out in comparison. The result is not a harmonious look, but rather a visual clash, where the color takes center stage, leaving the person wearing it overshadowed. Another problem with overly bright colors is that they often create an artificial or forced sense of youthfulness. True confidence and style do not come from desperately clinging to trends, but from understanding what enhances natural beauty. Neon pinks, electric blues, and fluorescent greens might look energetic in theory, but they rarely convey elegance or sophistication. Instead, they can appear jarring, making the overall look seem unbalanced and loud rather than refined. A much better alternative to neon or overly saturated colors is to embrace rich, deep jewel tones that provide depth without overwhelming the complexion. Shades like emerald green, sapphire blue, deep plum, or burgundy offer a sense of vibrancy while maintaining a level of sophistication. These colors still create contrast and energy, but they do so in a way that harmonizes with the skin rather than competing with it. They bring warmth, richness, and a feeling of timeless elegance, enhancing the natural features instead of overpowering them. Making the shift from harsh, highly saturated colors to deeper, more refined tones is about embracing personal style with wisdom rather than force. It's about choosing colors that work with the skin rather than against it, allowing for a confident, radiant appearance that feels both authentic and empowering. The goal is not to fight against aging, but to highlight the beauty that comes with experience, presence, and self-assurance.